So the fix is in. The refs have let the Fever know they're not going to win any close games in the playoffs. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our channel. I'm Mark.
And I'm Rob.
So, hey, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so. Hit the notification bell when you do so you get notified of our next video. And join us for Kate and Clark's crossover every Monday and Thursday from 6 to 7 and 5:30 to 6:30, respectively, Eastern time, except for major holidays. And join us for all the live action for the Fever games, except for the 3 that aren't televised. So we'll see you Wednesday night and Thursday night, hopefully, for Kate and Clark's crossover. So, Rob, I don't know. We got a lot of new followers because we got a bunch of videos that were popular, and some people weren't following us last year. So if you're new, let me tell you a few things about us. First thing is, I am an anti-conspiracy person. I'm a lawyer. I believe in logic. I believe in evidence. I'm not a big conspiracy guy. So just let you know that. And also, I think we're pretty objective. We're very critical of Kate and Clark's defense. We didn't call her the best player in the league last year. We said she's fourth best, was just about right. And until she improves her defense, she's not going to be the best. In the first 2 games, her defense was great. The last 2 games, it wasn't. She's not the best player in the league still. I think at some point she will be this year. Nafisa Kyler looks like the best player. But just let you know, we're not a bunch of stands. Really.
Yeah,
that's all I can tell you. I can't. I know you can't tell that you're objective by yourself. I realize I can't say I'm objective and that means anything, because I'm saying it about myself, but I'm telling you, we're not a bunch of stands.
Yeah, my background, I've been playing basketball since 10. My dad was a referee 25 years. I played basketball since I was 10. I've played high school, college, and I've refed high school games. I coached games, and like I said, I've been pretty objective, and I really enjoy the game of basketball, no matter who plays it, and I coach women's basketball, girls basketball. So I kind of know how it's different from the men's. It's more of a ground game. So it is a little more so-called physical, rougher. But this is outrageous. This stuff is outrageous.
Said this in the last video. I said Caitlin Clark got a fair whistle in college, except for the first 2 games in her senior year where she got clutched and grabbed and hold at the NCAA tournament. And then after halftime, it was fair. And also, I guess in the someone pointed out the LSU game against Angel Reese's team, there was 3 black refs, and people thought it was all conspiracy against them. I will say that the refs were more beneficial to LSU than they were to Iowa in that particular game, her junior year. But in general, she shot a lot of free throws, and I thought it was generally fair against her. Just to show you that I'm not always whining about the refs against Caitlin Clark. But since she entered the WNBA, since game 1, this phantom foul against Alyssa Thomas, the refs have had an agenda against Caitlin Clark because they don't want to be a big star, and they don't want to look like they're trying to have favoritism towards the person who everyone else thinks is getting too much publicity, even though she deserves it because of her exciting play, her ability, and the fact that people like her. And she's great.
Mark, she cannot play. She is improving on defense, which I like. Won't let her. But they won't let her play the defense like the people who are guarding her. She cannot play a physical defense, clutching and grabbing, or even looking at them, or putting her arm up and not even touching the player. She can't even catch a break with that. But they can claw and beat the crap out of her, and no calls are being made. And that's not a whiny thing from us. That's a fact. If you watch these past games, that's fact. Use an eye test. You don't need to do that. It's a freaking eye test.
Ryan Howard and Natasha Cloud should have fouled out in the first quarter in both these games, Rob. And that's just the way it is. Hand checking is illegal. They did so much hand checking. It's unbelievable. So many fouls. Natasha Cloud in the last game against the Liberty, she fouled extensively in the last 2 plays. 2 different ways.
She fouled her 5 times before she
was hand checking, and then she hit her elbow.
Mark, she fouled her 3 times before she even got the ball. She was grabbing her. And then when she got the ball, she was pushing her. And then when Clark had her beat off the dribble, and then she was grabbing her. And then when Clark went up for the shot, I couldn't believe I saw one video. Cloud shuts down Clark.
I saw the headline in ESPN. Almost.
I was like, what?
Shuts
down.
What are you talking
about?
Cloud fouled Caitlin Clark and it wasn't called. That's what the headline should be.
Yeah.
Okay. Rob, there is a rule, and we'll go over this, that there's a cylinder. And in the NBA, if your hands, you got the ball in front of you and it's in the cylinder, and the person sticks their arm off and you go across it, they get foul calls all the time. And the NBA and the WNBA have the same exact rules for this. So it should have been a foul from the very beginning, even before she reached in and hit her elbow.
Right.
So that's just, if Caitlin Clark puts the ball out in front of her like 3 feet, the cylinder rule is off. But she didn't. She had it down right in front of her by her feet. And that's a foul when she reached in, Rob.
But she had her beat. She beat her off the dribble. She got fouled and she finally caught the ball. And then she faked her and dribbled to the left. And she was, as you notice, the angle, she's ahead of her. So the only way that she could stop her was to foul her. She didn't, it wasn't like I said, beer to like when I teach defense, beat the person to the spot and slide your feet. It was a grab and a clutch. And she was sliding her. There's no way that she did not foul her. No freaking way.
And I've said this before. I'm going to say it again, and this proves it. Caitlin Clark has the worst whistle in the history of men's or women's basketball. And as a result, so does the Fever.
Right.
Bonner has nothing to do with Caitlin Clark on that play. Lexi Hall has nothing to do with Caitlin Clark other than the fact that they're teammates. And they're suddenly getting bad calls.
Bonner got clobbered. And there was no, I go, it's trickling. It's the trickle down effect here. If you're on the Fever team, you're not going to get any foul calls, or you're going to get bogus calls fouled on you like Lexi Hall did.
And Rob, I'm so tired of hearing that argument. Well, they did all this wrong. They did this wrong. Caitlin Clark shot poorly. I get all that. All of it is true. You can say that after every game if it's decided by a ref call. But in this particular case, it wasn't one ref call at the end. It was 3 ref calls. All 3 were obviously wrong. All 3 went against the Fever. This is outrageous.
Yeah.
And, there is an agenda. And Rob, there was an agenda last year, and I said, okay, it can't get any worse. I'm hoping it's a little better. And I was optimistic. I said one game. I said it won't get much better, but I think it'll get a little better if for no other reason that they seem to be accepting Caitlin Clark a little bit more with the marketing, and also she's not a rookie, and also because Stephanie White is going to be in the ears of the refs more, and she has more respect from the refs. So I got 3 reasons. I go, okay, that's going to help like 10 to 20%. No, it's the same. It might be worse. It might be worse than last year, Rob.
What were you wrong, Mark? I was so wrong.
I thought it'd be a little better. I wasn't expecting it, Rob. I said this very clearly. I said I wasn't expecting it to be much better. I said she's going to have a bad whistle her entire WNBA career. And I said that. And I'm convinced of that. But I thought it would get a little better every year. Like by the time she's in her prime, she's a superstar. She'll get a little superstar call. Maybe it'll be fair at that point. No, it's never going to be fair. These people hate Caitlin Clark, the WNBA. The commissioner does not want a star player in the league. She said this in 2 interviews, Rob. Where she said, well, we can't promote one person because what if she gets hurt? 2 interviews she said that. They didn't say that about Michael Jordan. David Stern didn't say, oh, my God, we can't promote Michael Jordan. Oh, my God, what if he scored 63 points against the Celtics? And they promoted him again. When he came back from his injury, that's all that happens. Kathy Engelbert does not want Caitlin Clark to be a star. I'm not saying she's going in there and saying to the refs, you be against Caitlin Clark 100%. But they are being 100% against her, and she's doing nothing to correct it. She's not saying, what is this bias against Caitlin Clark?
Yeah,
Can't you at least be fair? She's not saying that. I guarantee you, Rob.
It's total bias, Mark. It's total bias, and it's ruining, and she's so stupid. It's ruining the league.
She's an airhead, Rob.
She's ruining the league. This league is, I don't know. There's going to have expansion teams, but I'm going, well, they're going to have expansion teams, but if it's going to be like this, no one's going to watch this crappy league. It's a crappy league right now. It's a bogus, crappy league.
I can't tell you how many comments I got that said, we're not going to watch anymore. And this was before this game. That was before this game. And then some of them were after this game. Just so you know, we put out a video about how bad the refs are and how upsetting it is to people that don't want to watch anymore. And we edited it and recorded it before the game, and we put it out right before I published it right before the game. Guess what? And then this game took place, and the refs were even worse. And it's so unfair to Caitlin Clark where she can't play physical defense against Ryan Howard and Natasha Cloud, but they can do it against her because they'll be able to hand check her, but she can't do the same thing. That's why her defense suffers at times, Rob.
It does. And it not just her defense, Mark, her offense. It totally affects. I mean, you said it in the video. They're not going to make the calls on her, and then she gets the bogus calls. It does affect the player. I mean, I play. Well, how? So you're like, okay, so I can't play my game, and it does affect you offensively too.
Yeah,
because
so
it carries over.
But trouble, you're afraid to drive to the basket because you may get a charge call.
Yeah.
Look at the game against the Fever and against the Aces last year. Caitlin Clark had a lot of momentum. People, I don't think she was ever going to get MVP, but there was some talk about her being in MVP conversation. And they'd only played the Aces once, and they had 2 games going up in that week. And there was a momentum there. And they played against the Aces. And in that game, Aaliyah Boston got 6 foul calls in a drop of a hat. And there was replays that showed she didn't foul. There was phantom fouls. And guess what? Asia Wilson got 0 foul calls in that game. Why? Because the refs wanted to make sure Asia Wilson won that game, looked good in that game, to take all the momentum away from Caitlin Clark and her MVP consideration. That's what happened. There's no doubt in my mind because you can just watch the plays. And that's what's going on here. They want New York Liberty or the Minnesota Lynx to win the title this year. And they don't want the Fever. They don't want Caitlin Clark to win this early in her career. They don't want her to get MVP this year. And they're doing everything they can to hold her back. And this is outrageous. I knew that refs were going to be against her, but I didn't think it would be this bad, Rob. I didn't think it would be
Mark,
this bad.
You know why? You know why, Mark? The reason why? Because of the Caitlin Clark fans. Because he's already focused on.
That's the excuse they use, Rob.
That's the excuse they use. They say the fans.
They don't like Caitlin Clark because she's white and she's straight, and they're jealous and envious of all the publicity he gets, Rob.
Wait, let me finish. It's because of the fans. The fans. They're already against the Caitlin Clark fans, so they cannot have the Fever win, because then that means that the Caitlin Clark and the Fever fans win. So they can't have that. No, they can't put that in their schedule. No.
I don't know what to say. I'm flabbergasted, Rob. I tell you, I am not a conspiracy person.
Me neither.
But there is something going on here with the refs. I can't say that the commissioner has a gun to their head, but she's complacent by the fact that they haven't corrected their behavior over the last year and 4 games. That's what I'm going to say. And also that she wants this to happen. She does not want one superstar. She doesn't understand how it's been successful for the NBA with Michael Jordan. Yeah, they had Magic and Larry, and they started it. And then Michael blew it all up because they promoted the heck out of him. And they didn't care that he was black, Rob. David Stern's white. Michael Jordan's black, the last I checked. He didn't care. He didn't care what color he was. He said, this guy's a superstar. He's exciting. We're going to promote the crap out of him. And they did. And it's the highest ratings of all time.
Not just that, Mark. They changed the rules. They changed the rules because of that. Because back then, he was getting hammered. People were getting hammered. And they changed the rules because the Pistons were, brutal ball, whatever, bully ball, no layups. So they changed the rule because they saw that if they didn't change the rules, and if they kept having the Pistons and even my Knicks were doing it too, that if they kept on playing that type of defense in basketball, people are going to get turned off like they are right now. I'm turned off. I'll watch the games, but I'm just not. When I watch this game, I'm not going to watch it with optimism. It's going to be like, okay, here we go again. It's going to be very. It's going to be not. It's not going to make the game fun. It's making the game of basketball for me to watch the WNBA fun. If I'm at that stage, they're going to get rid of all the new people who Caitlin Clark brought in, not Angel Reese, not Asia Wilson. Caitlin Clark brought in these new fans.
I said this before. They're going to have to win games by more than like 1 or 2 points to try to win this championship. But I thought that they were good enough to do that, and that the refs were at least sometimes going to be on their side and more likely against them. No. Because last year they won some close games, and the refs weren't always against them at the end of the game. Generally they were. But I said, right now it looks to me like, no, that's not going to happen. They're going to have to win every playoff game by 5 points or more, Rob, or they're losing that playoff game. Because maybe during the regular season they'll win some close games and get some ref calls. But when the playoffs come and Caitlin Clark is there and she's going for her first championship, they're not going to let her. They're not going to let unless they got to win by 5 or more every game, Rob. That's the way it looks to me.
Yeah, sorry. Put a roadblock. There's a roadblock for them. It's a big roadblock. It's not, and the whole thing is, it's so sad. It's not fair. And like I said, I ref. My dad was a ref, and usually, I'm a fan when something happens with a game with my favorite teams. Yeah, but I'm not siding with the refs, but I know what they go through. But these guys, these refs, they're not even being objective. It's blatant bias. And they're not being objective. It's like blatant, right in front of your eye. Like I said,
Well,
I'm doing the eye test.
They don't want to win MVP either, Rob. They don't. They want anyone but Caitlin Clark to win. Nafisa Collar, which I like. Everyone likes Nafisa Collar. She's the most likable person. But Asia Wilson, not likable. But Nafisa Collar, she's playing great. And right now, she looks like the best player in the league. I'm not even disputing that. But in terms of, it makes it harder to be the best player in the league when you're at a disadvantage defensively because you're getting bad foul calls both ways. And that's all there is to it.
It destroys the game, Mark. It's detrimental to the game. It really destroys the game of basketball, which I love, and a lot of people do love. And they're tuning in because of Caitlin Clark. And you're not promoting her. You're not letting her do her thing by not letting her play defense. And then, like I said, it does affect her offense. It does. And this is the only part, like I said in our video, that bothers her is the mental part. The other stuff, the outside stuff, she can deal with. But when she's out there on the court trying to play the game, trying to do her thing, and they're freaking just, letting these things go, what's she supposed to do? What's she supposed to do?
I don't know. Let's go over a couple things before we go over the 3 foul calls, Rob. Number one, not challenging the foul call on Lexi. The announcers just said, that's all I can. I don't have the volume up pretty loud when I'm doing a live stream. And I just heard the announcers say, oh, they have 1 challenge left and 1 timeout. I didn't hear him say that they only had a reset timeout. So when I did, I said, I wonder why she didn't challenge the call. I said this when it was live. And then I said, oh, well, if she challenges and she loses her last timeout, and then she can't put it up at half court, and they only have 2.7 seconds left, that would be a real problem to get a good shot off. But it turns out it was a reset timeout, which I didn't know at the time. So everybody corrected me last time, but I didn't know this time, and they probably didn't know until Stephanie White said that in the press conference. And so you can't do that. You can't challenge when there is only a reset timeout. You have to have a full timeout. So I understand that, but I didn't hear that they had a reset timeout. So that was the problem. That's why she didn't challenge it. I don't know if it would have been overturned or not. It was obvious. It should have been a charge.
Should have been offensive. She freaking up her throat. It's like, wow. I was like, wow.
So, anyways, some people think the refs are on the take. Look, it's possible a couple of the refs are on the take, but not all of them, not the whole staff. We have no proof of this. That's not what I think is going on here. So I just want you to know that. And I think the refs are the main problem. Not only are they bad, they're against Caitlin Clark and the Fever. And in terms of Kathy Engelbert, I kind of already explained it, in terms of what's going on with her. But I can't tell you how many comments that are going on that people think that the refs are corrupt.
Well,
that they're on the take, and that this is like coming down from Kathy Engelbert. Yeah. I stated something in a previous video where I said, okay, reffing is the hardest thing in the world. So I get that. So the NBA refs, excusing FIBA, I guess, I don't know which ones are better. I'm assuming the NBA refs are better. It's still supposed to be the best league in the world. Are like the number 1 refs in the world, at least in the country, the highest paid ones. And I said Division 1 and Division 2, I found out, were higher paid than WNBA. And I thought the answer I got from ChatGPT was they were the 4th highest paid. They were. It turned out Division 2 was actually paid higher. Both men's and women's is paid higher than the WNBA. And then I went, okay, what about the G League? And the G League per game is almost the same and a little bit more. There's a range that the answer it got. So they may actually be 2, 4, 5. They may actually be the 7th highest paid per game in the country. Okay, if you're going to give the 7th highest paid refs in your country and your league, you're not going to get good refs. It's hard enough to be a good ref. So that's part of the problem is they're not paid enough. You have to pay them more per game. Now, they actually make more than the G League because they have a longer season. The G League's short. But per game, it was a slightly more for the G League. So they're actually 7th. Actually 7th. I didn't know that they were 4th. So that's part of the problem. You've got to pay them more. Caitlin Clark has given you enough gosh darn revenue into this league the last year and 4 games. Pay the refs more and get rid of these ones that you have because they're obviously not good. And I looked up the experience level of the refs. Some people thought that the guy that made the call at the end, that had that smug look on his face that you saw, Ryan Cesano, only did 4 years of public, but he's actually been a ref since 2015. He's done G League stuff. And then the woman ref, she has been a ref for 19 years. I think her name is, let me just see. I'm sorry. Let's see. And Angela Suffren, Angela Suffren, the woman, black female ref, Rob, she's been a ref, it looks like, it says 19 years on her LinkedIn account. So I can't go to definite answer out of Agon Abazi, but it looks like he's been a ref since around 2015. So these aren't refs that have only been doing 4 years. They've all been refing at least 10 years, Rob. But they're still the 7th highest paid refs in the country.
Just to show you. So if you've been refereeing for 19 years, then you're only refereeing the WNBA and stuff. You're not a very good ref. I'm just going to tell you right now. You're not a very good referee. You should be moving up. You should be, if you're evaluated those 19 years, you should be evaluated. You should be at least up in the G League, whatever.
Unless you have some kind of connection that you want to ref women and you're a woman, you're going to go with whatever pays you the highest. In Division II, men's and women's are both higher than WNBA. I don't know what to say. I'm just telling you, the league has to pay the refs more. And you can give. I saw this thing where she goes, so we have this new training thing. They went through this. It doesn't matter. If they're the 7th best refs, it doesn't matter how much training you give them. They're still lousy refs. They're only 7th best. You have to pull people from the other ones that you're paying more who got those jobs because they were higher rated than the ones you have in the WNBA. But it won't matter, Rob. Even if you have the NBA refs, if they hate Caitlin Clark and the Fever, it won't matter how good a refs they are. They're still going to be biased against them. They're still going to get the wrong calls at the end, and then they can always make excuses later on. Right. So I'm going to go over these plays. Which one? Well, I guess we should do them in order, right? So the first play was Bonner. Caitlin Clark makes this fantastic pass, and the announcer, I like Debbie Antonelli. She's normally okay. You know, she's a Fever announcer. But she said, oh, Caitlin Clark should have driven to the basket. No, Caitlin Clark wouldn't get the call. No. So she knew she wouldn't get the call. So she drove it. She gave it to Bonner, who can make layups normally. But she got hacked by both Jonquel Jones and really by Natasha Cloud. It wasn't even close whether there's a foul. You might as well just tackle him, Rob, and throw him to the ground.
Right.
It was unbelievable. Natasha Cloud gets away with whatever she wants.
I'm sitting like, I go, where's the foul? Why didn't they call the foul?
So there's a jump ball, and here's the play. We'll just play it in regular speed.
Comes a hand check. There's a hand check.
A hand check. Great pass.
And with the body.
Fouled by 2 people.
Right.
We'll play it in slow motion for you when this comes in. We can see. She got fouled by both Natasha Cloud and Jonquel Jones.
Right.
And I think it's the right play because there's 2 people on her right there. The chances of her making that layup aren't that good. And she knows she doesn't get calls.
No, Bonner's wide open. Bonner's wide open.
So. I know. It's the right. I can't believe that the announcer said Clark should have just gone up with, no, why?
No.
Bonner's wide open. So here's the slow motion.
Nice bounce pass. Grabs it. Goes straight up.
She goes up, and then watch. They don't hit the ball.
Watch Jones'
they don't
body.
Hit the ball, Rob.
No, watch Jones' body.
Yeah, Jones' body, and Natasha Cloud hits her arm.
Right. Jones' body, right
and
there.
Jones' body. She got hit in the body by Jones and hit in the arm by Natasha. It doesn't matter who you call it on. It's a foul.
Yeah.
I mean, it was obvious foul. It's not even a close call. It doesn't matter what what part of the game it is, Rob. This is a foul. This is a flagrant foul almost. I'm not saying it's a flagrant foul.
And Bonner, who never complains normally, she was even like, what the heck?
Well, she got knocked down, too, because she went up and Jonquel Jones had some body contact with her. I don't think it was a flagrant foul. I'm joking about that. But it's a clear foul. It's not even debatable whether that's a foul or not. And it's not debatable. I don't care about the end of the game stuff. It doesn't matter. That's a pretty hard foul too. And it was so obvious. And I don't know, like what refs are where. I want to keep track of this, Rob. Okay, that's the bald white guy. That's his name is Agnon, I guess. And let's see where. So who's over there? Okay, so who has the best view? It's okay. So the black female right here, her name is Angelica. She's got the best view, Rob, because she's right here, right? Oh no, she's up here. Okay, so it's this guy over here. His name's Ryan Sassano. Okay,
he's got the guy on the right has the best view.
you think so? Ryan Sassano's what? Really?
Yeah, because when she drives in and then the ball's there, he's right there.
This guy here.
Yeah,
his name's Agnon. But Ryan Sassano, Rob, you don't think he can't see? He's right here on the line.
Well, he missed that call, but I mean, when she drives in.
No, but it's both of them, Rob. They both have a view of it.
Yeah.
He's got a view. Agnon and Ryan both have a view. He can see that, Rob.
He can see that. He can totally see that.
See it. She has the worst view. Okay, yeah, so I'm not blaming her on that call. That's not her
she's
call.
Blocked. She's blocked up by the players, but those two underneath, the two on the side, yeah, him right there. But he was too far over. What's he doing so far over in the corner?
It doesn't matter, Rob. He can see it.
And then what's he doing way out there? He should have dropped down a little bit more. Third call. See, the positioning is wrong too.
What?
That's
I don't know what to say. There's two refs that had a good view of it, and they should have called it. So this is from Heaven's X Cow. It won't allow me to make it bigger. Normally you can, just so you know. So I apologize for that, but I will play it for you. Now notice Lexi Hall is not cutting her off, Rob. She's running not only straight, but to her right, to the left, towards the basket. So in no way is she cutting off the offensive player, which I would maintain, yes, that's a foul. So watch her. She's still going to the left. Sabrina Eskew initiates.
Leans into her.
She could have gone just straight up and gone for the layup. Instead, she leaned in the defender on purpose to try to get a foul call.
Right.
Which is a charge. Her hands are straight up, and she continues to move to the left, her right, away from the offensive player, Rob.
Right. And then she flops on the ground because she knew she would get that call. She knew she would.
What else is Lexi Hall supposed to do on that play?
She did everything right. She beat to the spot.
Put her head into her, in fact.
Yeah.
One thing if Lexi Hall was going straight and cutting off cutting off Sabrina Eskew, but she wasn't. She was actually going left towards underneath the basket.
Right.
That is so clearly a charge. It's unbelievable to me.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about what the Fever did wrong and the Caitlin Clark shot 2 for 11. Whatever. All I want to hear is 3 calls, and when all 3 calls go against one team, there's an agenda. That's what I want to say. Now, see, she hits her arm before she hits the ball.
Right.
The arm, even if you say it's at the same time, it doesn't matter. You're not allowed to hit the arm like that.
She has her beat. Yeah, she has her beat already. That's why she did that.
Right. That's a foul. It's not like she got a clean ball. If she got the clean ball, I'd say, okay, play on. But she hit the arm.
Look at Caitlin Clark's her physical, the action of the arms, Mark. No one's arms do like that unless someone hits you in the arm like that.
Here's the play again. It's bigger, and I think in the beginning you can see the hand check. That's illegal. She's reaching in. See right there, you can see she's reaching in with both hands. No foul call. Both illegal.
Yep, she brings the ball through.
Yeah, you see how close Caitlin Clark has the ball to her body? She's in her own cylinder. That means you can't put your hands in there. And if you do, and she goes across, that's a foul. Caitlin Clark drives away from her, not through her, so it's not a charge.
Right. She has her beat. She has her beat, Mark, right there. She has her beat.
This part in slow motion now. Look at her arm is already hitting her lower. Her arm is already in her lower arm. Now it's hitting the ball after she hit the arm.
Reaching in.
Foul. I don't know what to say.
Mark, like I said, my thing was my call was reaching. I would have called that foul. As soon as she came up on her and when she reached in, I would have called the foul.
I don't know exactly why the refs hate Caitlin Clark so much. We've gone over why the players and the media and some of the league surrounding the old guard don't like Caitlin Clark. The refs, I don't know if they have some kind of connection with some of the old guard players, whether some of them are black, some of them are lesbian, and don't like Caitlin Clark because she's white and straight and get a lot of publicity. I don't know what's in their mind. I don't know if it's because, we're afraid to show favoritism towards her because they're going to be attacked because, they're just giving the princess favorable cause. All I know is they're giving her the worst whistle in the history of basketball. I don't know what's in their mind. All I know is what I see with my eyes, Rob.
Yeah, and that shouldn't matter. It just shouldn't matter either way. So no one likes the refs. So no one likes you. So no one's going to like you if you don't make the call or do it. No one likes refs. So just call the game consistently. And it's especially, like I said, if it's right in front of you with these fouls from last year and now again with this year, make the call. Just make the call. I mean, it doesn't matter who it is.
Caitlin Clark's not even a rookie anymore. So
no.
They don't even have that excuse.
It doesn't matter.
Rule, but
that doesn't matter. The rookie, whatever, doesn't matter. If it's that blatant, and you're supposed to be following the rules as a referee, guidance. You go to camp and everything. Those are fouls. Call it.
They're very unlikely to win really close games in the playoffs. During the regular season, yeah, because you're playing 44 games, you're going to get some calls your way. It's not always going to be 100% against you. In the playoffs, I bet you, Rob, if they have 4 or 5 close games decided by the refs, they're going to win 1 at the most.
Yeah.
That's my guess. It's being very unlikely means I'm not saying it's never going to happen. They're going to win a close game or going to get a call down the stretch in a playoff game. But the odds are very much against them, Rob.
And then people will complain
5 or more in almost their playoff games.
And then, Mark, people will complain, that Caitlin Clark, she gets all the calls.
Well,
what the hell are you talking about?
Time it happens after 5, it's going to fall on deaf ears, but they're going to say it anyways. We know that.
Yeah, it's just like I said, to take your phrase, I don't know what to say. That's what I was saying last night when I saw that play. I don't know what to say. What are you looking at? Why are you? Like I said, why are you doing this? Why are you picking on one player like that? And then you form this committee which is a BS committee. The WNBA is going to. Caitlin should just take the ball and go. Let's just go.
Well, that's for another video. But yes, yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah. We're going to transcend into that.
Let us know what you think of this video. Let us know what you think of our rant here. I think I'm being pretty fair here. I don't know. I'm trying not to be a Caitlin Clark stan. I'm really going out of my way to try to be objective about this. I'm trying my hardest.
Like I said, I like Caitlin Clark because of basketball, but I'm not being a fan. I'm a fan, but I'm not a super duper fan of Caitlin Clark. I'm a fan of basketball. I'm a basketball fan, and this is horrible for the game. It doesn't matter. It's horrible for the game.
I agree, Rob. And let us know what you think down below, and feel free to share with your family, friends, and acquaintances. Sorry it went longer than we wanted it to, but I had a lot to say, and so did Rob.
Sorry.
And if you're new to the channel, we don't usually rant this much, but they gave us no choice. They did.
They need to be called out. They need to be called out. And she needs to be called out. Commissioner, you need to be called out. Get out.
The commissioner needs to be fired. We know that, but that goes without saying. So, hey, all right. So if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so. If you like Caitlin Clark, subscribe to our channel. If you feel the refs are biased against the Fever and Caitlin Clark, subscribe to our channel. If you think they suck, subscribe to our channel. Just subscribe. Yeah. We're going for 7,000 subscribers, and we need your help. Hit that notification bell when you do, so you get notified of our next video. And join us for all the live games, except for the 3 that aren't nationally televised. Join us for that. We'll do a live stream. And you can also join us for Caitlin Clark's Crossover. We have guest podcasters, and we talk about Caitlin Clark and all sorts of good stuff. Monday and Thursday, 6 to 7 and 5:30 to 6:30, respectively. Monday and Thursdays, Eastern time. And also, if you want, you can donate to this channel with super chats and super things down below. The link to PayPal. We'll see you in the next video.
Peace out.